you go over 850, you use the next one. And the next one is this. So, if I make under $850, I'm going to use $850 as my standard deduction. So some of you that didn't make $850 for the whole summer, that would be you. Okay? If you made it over $850, you take whatever you earned. So some of you that worked the entire summer, you made $2,500. Okay? That's the amount earned, and you're going to always add $300. It's just kind of the baseline number. So you always add $300 up to $5,450. Again, why is that? Because this was what number that we did yesterday. That's standard deduction, right? So if your income is over $5,400, you would always just use that standard deduction of $5,400. So you have three tiers here. If you make less than $850, you get to use all the way up to $850. If you're over $850, you take whatever you made plus $300. And then if you're over $5,400 for the whole summer, you would take the last one. Okay, so let's look at this. I know this is kind of confusing. Turn to page 51, please. On page 51, we're actually going to go through example 3 because they kind of show you this as a whole. So Jack is a senior at Bayview High School and his parents claimed him as a dependent on their tax return. Jack worked last summer and earned $2,385. His employer deducted $320 in withholding taxes from his pay. Jack also earned $350 in interest on a savings account. What was the amount of Jack's refund? So, the first thing that we have to do is find the amount of allowable deduction. So, which category does Jack fall into? The first one, the second one, or the third one? The second one, right? He's over $850, but he's less than $5,450. So, whatever his number was, I'm going to automatically add $300. So, right now, he would be at what? $2,685, okay? So, beyond that now, how much, so that's kind of our allowable deduction because we added the $300 to it. But now we have to go through and we have to find our income. How much income did he actually make? Well, don't use the last number. Go back to the 2,385. And what else did he make for income? Because he got that from his interest, right? So you're going to add those two together. And notice that that would be $2,735. See where I'm seeing that? Okay. So the amount of taxable income then is the difference between those two things. The first one we figured out was the deduction that we're going to use. The second one was the amount of income we actually did. Remember, deductions are good for us. So we would have $50 that we would have as taxable income. Because we would deduct whatever we made from our income. So we end up with $50. Find the tax due or the refund amount. And he took $320. So I take my $50 and go back to the chart. So turn back one page. Where did you get $50? Because I would have taken the amount that I made, which was $2,735, minus $2,685, which we found out as a deduction. So right here, I'm just subtracting those two numbers. And I got my $50. So this is how much I actually made in money. This is the amount of deduction I can do. Deductions are good for you. You want a lot of deductions. So we take $50 back to the chart, and how much do I get? $6, right? $6. So how much did my employer take out though? They took $320, but the government says I only owe $6. So look how much money I get back. How much do I get back? So this guy gets $314 back in taxes, or from tax money.
Where'd you find that?
What's that?
Where'd you find the 6?
So go right here to the 50, and then go across because he's single. So that's $6. All right. So let's try the next one. Because I subtracted two numbers. Look up right here. I'm taking my income minus the deductions and I get my $50. So this is taxable income.
So what
Take
is
that
a
back.
deduction? What is it?
Deductions were, if you watched the video from yesterday that I sent you. Exactly. So look at that video and it will tell you. Okay? So let's look at letter E. Tina is a junior who earned $3,510 at a card shop. Her employer deducted $468 in taxes. So let's write some of this down. She has no adjustments to her income or additional income. Okay? So she made $3,510 and she already had $468 taken out. All right. So it says her mother claims her as a dependent. How much will Tina receive as a refund? So if you look at this now, we're going to take $3,510. And which category did we end up in? The middle one, right? So what do I do with this?
Plus 300.
Add 300 and whatever that is. Right? Okay. Now, that's less than. Okay, that's less than it. So if I come back here now, I'm looking at, this is the standard deduction, but it didn't have any other income involved, right? So basically, I can deduct this whole thing as myself, or this person, because I didn't have any extra income. In the last problem, they had extra income that they didn't already get taxed. So that $50 is where we took it to the chart. But in this one, the deductions were all used up because it's in that one category. Okay? So if my employer already took out this amount, but this is the amount of deductions I have, how much do you think I get back? Do I owe anything else? No. So if they took this out, what do you think happens to this amount of money?
You get it back?
I get it back. So if this category is basically used up, this is my amount of deduction, I get all of this back as a return. And so this is where it's good for you guys right now, because basically anything that's taken out of your checks right now as taxes, you're going to probably fit into that category of being less than $5,450. The majority of you probably will, okay? Because you're just not getting enough hours. So basically, whatever there's taking back, if you file your taxes, you're going to get that back as a return, because this is a deduction. So basically, it's saying I'm just taking this away and I'm subtracting that as my deduction, so I end up with zero. So I don't owe anything extra, but they've already taken this away from me. So if I don't owe anything extra, I get all of this back. That makes sense? So that's a good thing, right? Again, we're looking for deductions. And in a sense, I think Justice asked, well, why does that happen? They're trying to help you out a little bit, in a sense. Okay? So let's look at F. Kim worked for his uncle during the summer. He was paid $2,800, but no withholding tax was deducted. Okay? So right now, he hasn't had any taxes deducted because he's working for his uncle, which maybe is not, he's paying him cash in a sense. But then he took it to and showed it to him, the government. He earned $57 in interest on a savings account. He has no adjustments to his income, and his parents claim him on a tax. How much tax does he owe in federal income taxes? Okay, so if I do this, I'm going to take my $28.97 and add what to $28.97? 300. So $28.97, because it's in that middle category up there, I'm adding $300. So that is my deductions, right? That is the amount of deductions that I would have. Now, how much income did I make? Well, now I had $2,897 that I made from the job, but what else income did I have?
57.
57 more dollars in interest, because I had a checking account or something. So I add this up, and I get $2,954. Okay? So if you notice here, if you notice that my deductions are still more than my income, that's a good thing. So basically, I'm ahead at the end because of my deductions. So how much taxes do I make? I don't have to make any. If this number right here of deductions is more than my income, so this is greater than my income, then as a result, I don't pay taxes. In the first example that we looked at, example 3, this was bigger than that. So then my taxable income, I would have had it taken back to the chart and figured it out. But in this case, it wasn't.
Well, why did you even do that if you already knew it was gonna be below 5,000, whatever?
Then I just had to see if my, if this was bigger than this though. If this was bigger than this, then I would have still had to do my calculation and taken it back there. So I might have owed very little amount of taxes. But because my income was less than my total deductions, I was good to go.
Where did you get the deductions from?
They told me. Well, no, see, because my 2897 is less than your 5450, like you said. So then I have to add it to the $300 in this section. Because it's in this second category. So I'm just trying to figure out where I fit in here to figure out this is how do I figure out my deduction that I get. So in here, if it's bigger than $850 but less than that, the amount that I make in it essentially is the deduction if I add $300.
So that last one, why would you get the 468 back? Is that because they have withholding taxes in that program?
This one right here, they already took this out of my checks all summer long.
Okay.
This one right here, they never took anything out. So if they take this out, but I can use it all up in deductions, then I get all this back.
Okay, so if you, so like, are we gonna have problems where it's over 5,450?
Probably not in this part.
Because if you have like, so say you make like $6,000, but you have your deductions of 5,450, well then that leaves you with leftover money.
But that would be, so that's my taxable income that I have to take back to the chart.
Oh.
So then, so in that case, then you would take, what'd you say, 6,000? You would take $550 back to the chart and you would figure out your taxes.
Figure out your taxes.
Yeah.
Would you do the 300 to that too?
Well, what, this 300?
Because it's over the 5,000.
Yeah, you don't have to add the 300.
Right, because if this is over 5,450, you don't have to do this part.
Where does the 300 even come from?
That's one of those just kind of basic numbers that they're gonna add on to it, so they're trying to get it even higher. They're helping you out,
Take $300 if you pass go.
in a sense. So that's one of those things where they're just trying to help you to get your money back. In that case, like that $468.
So then what's, for that second problem, what's left with the?
Which one's the second one?
Like the
Right?
3,197 and the 2,954, what's that middle? Like if you subtract them, then you still have like.
So this is basically saying I had extra deductions in a sense.
Yeah.
So I went over that. If you have more deductions, then you just don't end up paying any of the taxes.
Okay, well then what happens with the $200 in between?
I guess it's just your extra money. See, that's that $300 that they helped you out in.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So that's that part of that extra that you got from the government.
Why is that a deduction? Like
The $300?
No, I thought the 228, whatever that number is, was your salary, whatever you got.
Yes. And this was the income I got from my interest.
Yeah, so why is there a deduction in the left part of it?
This, well, I always have to have my income I can use my income as the part of the deduction. That's even what I would do here, right? If, like, Easton said with the 6,000, the first $5,450 of my income acts as my deduction, right? So then I'm just paying taxes of the $600 that are left over, $550 that are left over.
Oh, okay, I get it.
See what I'm saying? So you're always including your income as your deduction.
Well, the government's black. This is weird.
Why can't they give us a percentage for everything?
Yeah, it's a solid percentage across the board.
Well, essentially, that's what happens when you go over that $5,450. Like right now, I can figure my taxes as usually 30% of whatever I make. Does that make sense, what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
So in a sense, it ends up doing that, but the way that that happens is because you're going through this process. You just don't realize you're going through this process every single month or whatever.